play. Steve and Michael Beakey lighting up the way. Abnormal investigations, whispers in the trees. With boots on the ground, I'm chasing mysteries. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I walk where others dream. I'm on the ancient woods, where legends come alive. I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. Footsteps on the trail, echoes in the night, searching for the secrets hidden from the light. Cryptids roam the wild under the moon's embrace. With every rustle in the leaves, I feel their haunting grace. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I walk where others dream. Among the ancient woods, where legends come alive, I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. Each night a new adventure in the depths of the unknown. With passion in my heart, I'll walk this path alone. But with every discovery, I know I'm not afraid. For in the woods of wonder, true wonders are made. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I'll walk where others dream. Among the ancient woods, where legends come alive, I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. So here's to the night where the strange comes to be. With boots firmly planted on where I'm meant to be. In the heart of the night, where the shadows play, Steve and Michael Beakey lighting up the way. Abnormal investigations, whispers in the trees. With boots on the ground, I'm chasing mysteries. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I walk where others dream. I'm on the ancient woods, where legends come alive. I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. Footsteps on the trail, echoes in the night, searching for the secrets hidden from the light. Cryptids roam the wild under the moon's embrace. With every rustle in the leaves, feel their haunting grace. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I walk where others dream. Among the ancient woods, where legends come alive, I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. Each night a new adventure in the depths of the unknown. With passion in my heart, I'll walk this path alone. But with every discovery, I know I'm not afraid. For in the woods of wonder, true wonders are made. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I'll walk where others dream. Among the ancient woods, where legends come alive, I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. So here's to the night where the strange comes to be, with boots firmly planted on where I'm meant to be. In the heart of the night, where the shadows play, Stephen Michael Bickey lighting up the way. Abnormal investigations, whispers in the trees. With boots on the ground, I'm chasing mysteries. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I walk where others dream. I'm on the ancient woods, where legends come alive. I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. Footsteps on the trail, echoes in the night, searching for the secrets hidden from the light. Cryptids roam the wild under the moon's embrace. With every rustle in the leaves, I feel their haunting grace. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I walk where others dream. Among the ancient woods, where legends come alive, I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. Each night a new adventure in the depths of the unknown. With passion in my heart, I'll walk this path alone. But with every discovery, I know I'm not afraid. For in the woods of wonder, true wonders are made. Shining light strange comes to be, with boots firmly planted on where I'm meant to be. Where the shadows play, Steve and Michael begin lighting up the way. Abnormal investigations, whispers in the trees. With boots on the ground, I'm chasing mysteries. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I walk where others dream. I'm on the ancient woods where legends come alive. I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. Footsteps on the trail, echoes in the night, searching for the secrets hidden from the light. Cryptids roam the wild under the moon's embrace. With every rustle in the leaves, I feel their haunting grace. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I walk where others dream. Among the ancient woods where legends come alive, I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. Each night a new adventure in the depths of the unknown. With passion in my heart, I'll walk this path alone. But with every discovery, I know I'm not afraid. For in the woods of wonder, true wonders are made. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I'll walk where others dream. Among the ancient woods where legends come alive, I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. So here's to the night where the strange comes to be, with boots firmly planted on where I'm meant to be.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Abnormal Investigations. I hope everybody's doing all right out there tonight. We're going to be talking about an incident that happened here in Oklahoma that is a true story, and they call it the Siege of Honobia, Oklahoma. They had a pretty fierce thing that this family went through. Kind of reminded me of kind of what I went through a long time ago. And can you believe that we had somebody get mad that I said my granny the other night while telling a story? They said, "How old are you?" Well, I'm actually 49 years old, and she will be my granny until I guess I die, because I'm very proud of where I came from, very proud of my family, and I think all of us, depending on where you come from, what part of the world, or what even part of the United States, we have different names for the people we love, and our family should be the most important thing in our life. So yeah, she'll always be my granny, and no matter how old I get, she'll always be my granny, just like my kids will always be my babies, no matter how old they get. Guys, welcome to a family channel where we do support family. Family has to come first here, and we are all family here. And that's what makes Abnormal Investigations such a special place to be, is you can be who you want to be, and you don't have to worry about being attacked. It is a place where you can come and share your stories, enjoy the night, and talk and chat and make friends and have a place to hang out, and just have some good old-fashioned fun. We try to do that over at our outdoor channel also on Wide Open Adventures. We're going to be doing a lot more adventures over there as the weather cools off, but around here it's been about 115 degrees, and I really don't like to get out in that kind of heat. But we do have some really fun stuff planned for that channel this coming fall also. Also, we had a short little video earlier. You may want to go watch it. It's called Important Video, and we talk about some of our assets being moved over to Patreon. And the reason we're doing it, it seems they don't like me sharing a lot of things we're finding on the ground or in the sky. So if you want complete access to everything we're finding, Patreon's going to be the place. If you don't mind it being watered down, then YouTube membership is a good place to stay. All right, guys, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring Pam on, and I'm going to bring Rogue on, and we're going to start getting the show kicked off, guys. Hello, ladies. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm absolutely peachy.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
I've been,
Me
yeah,
too.
I've been a little bit nervous before the show, but I think I'll be all right. I sat and watched the chickens peck around a little bit before I started. That kind of calms me down.
Right. Helps you not to be so nervous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Love
yeah.
the
The
chicken.
chicken. Yeah, chickens are soothing. You gotta watch the chickens. It's better
Yep.
than watching a choking clown. So hope y'all are ready for the show tonight.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Y'all are all studied up and ready for me to throw you under the bus, right?
No. I'm never ready.
No, not really. Yeah, I
Oh,
still
come
wasn't able to
on.
finish the whole thing. I tried. I tried. It was a lot longer than I thought. My day was a little bit shorter than I planned. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
did the best I could, though.
So the days
Yeah.
are actually shorter where you live than they are where I live, I guess.
No, not really, but it feels like it sometimes.
So you're
Seems
saying
like.
that kind of trying to throw me off a little bit, I guess. I don't know. So
Yeah.
anyways, guys, moving on. I had to do that. Guys, one of the videos that we had found, and I think everybody is very, very aware of this, is where I had the light taken off the top of my vehicle. I would like to let you all know that a very famous person in this genre is taking a look at it, and he sent me a message right before we started the show, and I want to read it to you verbatim what he said to me after he has went over this a little bit, and I'm sure he's going to go over it even further. Now, like I said, I'm not going to give his name out because I do not have permission yet, but it will be coming out. And after looking at the video and after studying it, he has came back and told me he would consider it a significant encounter. And he is a person that almost everybody in this community is going to know and respect. And no, it's not Travis Carpenter. I know everybody's, they love and respect him also, and he is a great, awesome guy. But this is also another big name in the community. And he has been taking a look at that video that I've sent to him, and he's been checking it out. I was pretty amazed that he called it a significant encounter. So pretty wild. Looks like we got
That's
some
great.
people in here. We got some new people, some old people. Charles, good to see you. Welcome to the show. Charles, Carol, Gary Carpenter's in here. Who all do we got in here right now? We got Sunshine. We got Gina's in here. We got Chester's in here. We got Lynn is in here. Kelly, good to see you. Emax, good to see you. Kelly Lewis, I think I might have said your name. Seeing a lot of the same names. We got a lot of our talkers in here tonight. Randy Petticourt is back in the chat, guys. He's been gone for a while. Good to see you, Randy. Welcome to the show. Shell is in here tonight. Good to see you, Shell. Shell is also a member over on Patreon. Scott Lee, good to see you. Kevin's also a member on Patreon. Good to see a lot of you guys over here tonight. Zoe, is good to see you. And I see all of our main talkers. They're really talking it up tonight. They got the chat rolling over there. Tina, so good to see you. Thank you for moderating tonight. I think I seen Sharon Guy in here at the beginning of the show. I don't see her now. A lot of faces I've seen in here tonight, guys. A lot of faces. So good to see everybody. We got a good show set up for you guys tonight. I don't think there's anything that I need to say before we kick this one off. Unless there's anything that y'all would like to add to it before we get deep into the butter on this one. Is there anything that y'all need to say?
I have nothing right now. I'm ready to hear.
I'm ready to hear. Let's go.
All right, guys, let's rush right into the cornfield on this one. So tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about a very famous story that I'm sure a lot of you know about. And this was actually a siege in Oklahoma by some Bigfoot. And this is known it's pretty widely known. It's not something that's just thrown around and all that. There's some pretty significant information out there about this one. And I was pretty excited to be able to do this one tonight, even though Rogue told me probably not a good idea, but we decided to do it anyways. Not really. She didn't say that, guys. I kind of thrown her under the bus right there. So imagine this: a secluded cabin deep in the woods of Honobia, Oklahoma. No neighbors, no streetlights. Just miles of dense forest stretching in every direction. It's the perfect place for someone looking to escape the chaos of the world. But for one family in the early 2000s, their peaceful retreat became the stage for what some consider one of the most chilling and well-documented Sasquatch encounters in modern history. This is the story of the Siege of Honobia, a multi-night ordeal that left a family terrified, armed, and ultimately packing their bags to escape whatever was stalking them from the woods. It's a tale that blends survival, folklore, and even the ever-haunting question: what if the legends are true? And I think a lot of people out there that may not be knowers or have had their own experience with these creatures, I think a lot of people have to at least ask themselves, hard to believe that is so funny. It is so, the question has to be in your mind, even if you're not a person that has seen these things, is what if they do exist? I mean, that has to be a question you ask yourself, because a lot of us live
Yeah.
in the country, a lot of us visit the woods, a lot of us, we hunt, we have picnics, we go on nature walks. Some people love to go out and I love to photograph things. I'm not real good at it, but I do like to do it. I like to try anyway. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, we're in the woods, and now it seems even today you're not even safe in town anymore. A lot of people are hearing, and we're getting more and more stories of encounters in town, and not just of Sasquatch, but werewolves, Bigfoot, Dogman, a lot of other things. The Mothman. You know, I think they even made a statue of him in the middle of the town up there where that had happened. So, what do you all think so far? You know, do you think, if you're like Rogue said, she's never had an encounter, so we'll start with her. Rogue, even though you've never had an encounter, is there a question in your mind as to what if these creatures exist, or do you firmly believe in the existence of these creatures, and what are your thoughts on that?
No, even though I haven't had an experience myself, I do firmly believe that they're here and that they exist. Yeah, there's too many people that have had experiences, and so many of the main points that they all share are the same. And I mean, there's just so many. I mean, not just Sasquatch, but Dogman and other creatures as well. But I mean, it's something that I just feel. I mean, I know that they're out there. I don't really have a way to prove it to anybody, but I do feel that 100%.
I think so too. What do you think, Pam? What is your thoughts, and have you had an encounter?
I haven't had a visual encounter. I've had instances that I've wondered if, like, yells I heard, tree knocks, that you just don't know. What we were in a campground, but we were walking in the woods. So we were way away from the campground. It's possible, but I know they're there. I've seen evidence of footprints. And I'll tell you a quick little story. I walked my dog last night, and it was late, and no quicker than I stepped out right behind one of the apartments here. There's woods, deep woods, and it sounded just like a tree break, loud. And then I heard a yell. So I think that's very possible, and I believe in them. I believe they're out there. I really do.
You know, I never had a choice but to believe in them, and I kind of wish I didn't sometimes, because it would be nice sometimes to go to the woods and know that something wasn't watching you, stalking you, and possibly thinking about eating you, right? New
Right.
England Dirt Roads, if you're interested in doing that, send me an email. Maybe we can get you in October, in our October creature feature month. So, like many Sasquatch encounters, the Honobia, or as some people say, you got to call it Honobia, I'm probably saying it wrong, incident didn't begin with a full-blown showdown. It started small. Strange noises in the night, the kind of thing you could write off as the wind or an overly ambitious raccoon. But then came the knocks, heavy, deliberate pounding on their cabin's walls, loud enough to wake the family inside. They'd peer out their windows, flashlight scanning the inky darkness, but all they ever saw were trees and shadows. You know, a lot of times, guys, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see this to read it. But a lot of times, you do hear people say that whenever this stuff starts at their homes, it doesn't just start out as something just trying to beat the door down. It always starts
Right.
out as small little increments. And, you know, you got to ask yourself sometimes, is it because they're testing us? Are they seeing what they can get away with? Are they saying, okay, maybe tonight we can peck and we'll see how they react? Maybe they test each person to see how much you will allow to happen at your home before you get up and actually go outside and look, right? I mean, most people, whenever they're in their bedroom or whatever, they're hooked on their TV, right? They're watching movies, they're playing their game, whatever they're doing. They have no idea what's going on around them. So they probably push that envelope to see, hey, what can I get away with? Do they have dogs that are going to bark? How much noise do I have to make to get the dog to bark? You know, I think they test a lot of those things. And it's kind of
Yeah.
scary to think of them out there actually trying those things, because who knows? Maybe those little sounds you hear at night, maybe that's them testing your bedroom window to see if it's locked. You know,
True.
there's a lot of things that just really, I mean, I think it could scare you to death. And I agree with you, Zoe. I do believe that they do love to scare us. And I think scaring us is one of the things that they enjoy doing. For some reason, I think they feed off of our fear and they enjoy scaring us. I think that that's one of the things they really like to do.
Yeah.
At first, they thought it might be a prank, maybe some teenagers with nothing better to do. But then the noises escalated. Footsteps, heavy and deliberate, crunch through the underbrush. Rocks the size of grapefruit start hitting the cabin's walls loud enough to make the windows rattle. And then they started seeing the glowing eyes. So, you know, one of the questions I have, and I'm going to put this out there to Rogue and Pam, let them, so I don't go hoarse from talking too much too fast. So my question is, if these things are around our house and they're looking to ambush us and they're prowling, as we would call it, window peeking, testing the windows, why are they chunking rocks, hitting the house, letting you know they're outside? Why are they rattling the windows, letting you know they're there? What would be the purpose in that other than anything except to scare you? And I'll let you guys kind of, what do you think?
I don't know, other than to let you know that they're there, or let you know that they're pissed off that you're there. Maybe they want you gone, or they want something that you have inside, or could be something about food, or just straight up just trying to terrify whoever is in the home. I don't know. Other than that, I'm not sure what their motivation would be for that.
Me either. I think it's a fear factor. I think they just want us scared and they think it's funny. I mean, I think we're their television. And they watch us and they know everything we do if they're around our homes. But I think it's a fear factor, a lot of it, and to let us know they're there and to intimidate us.
Yeah, manipulate our emotions, somehow control the way we're feeling.
Yeah, I believe that.
You know, a lot of these encounters that I get from people that reach out to me and people that I talk to on the phone that have asked me to, you know, there's people out there that's asked me to come to their houses and investigate, but a lot of times it's just too far, and I'll talk to them on the phone. And I've noticed that a lot of the things that we discuss a lot of times are, when you hear these things going on at these homes and the knocking and the beating on the houses and the howls and seeing the lights and the banging and the wood knocks, the growls and all that, there's something in common. And the one thing that I have found that is most common and I'm not saying it's the only thing that happens. Yeah, Lynn, that would work too. One of the most common things that I've seen is, or heard, it's normally a female at home by herself with her children. That seems to be the norm. I'm not saying it doesn't happen with a man that lives by himself, but normally it's going to be a female with children. I was speaking to a female that lives in southern Oklahoma, and I've got a chance to go to her property to investigate it as soon as I'm able to. I was talking to her one night, and I'm going to tell you right now that it was really crazy what had happened. Hammer Time, thank you so much for that. I do believe that they are addicted to the smell of adrenaline. I absolutely do believe that. I was talking to her, and she was telling me that she had just bought this new property, and she had a lot of weird things going on down there. She had a young son that lived with her. He was 8 years old. She said one night she was laid in her bedroom, and this is when things really turned for the worst. I was on the phone with her when this happened, okay? All I can tell you is what I witnessed on the phone. She said, Mike, they're back. And I said, what? She said, they're back. And I said, okay. I said, can you put the phone where I can hear them? She said, sure. So she put the phone over by her window, and I was listening. And I could hear the scratching on the wall. It was scratching the side of the house, it sounded like. And I thought, what in the world? And I sat there, and the whole time that this is happening, I can think about when I was at Granny's house, hearing the scratching. It sounded just like that. And then she does something that was crazy. I told her not to do it. She done it anyways. She raised her window, and she put the phone on video. She sticks me out the window, and she's showing the phone down the side of her home. I don't see anything. It's kind of lit, but I can see the leaves on the trees moving in the shadows. Something jumps off the top of her house, lands on the ground, and runs off into the woods. She screamed, started throwing a fit. I told her to hang up with me, to call 911, tell them you have a prowler. So she did do that. Later on that night, I wasn't talking to her, but she told me the next morning, later on that night, she saw lights coming through her bedroom window, and she heard growling and scraping and all that. But she said the lights coming through her bedroom window were different colors. They were like a rainbow color. And I thought, what? And she said, yeah. She said they were like red, white, and blue. And she said they were really pretty. She said, so I got up and I looked out the window. And she said, whenever I looked out the window, she said there wasn't anything out there. So she said, I got up to go get me a drink in the kitchen. And she said, when I got to the kitchen, she said, I noticed something. She said, I noticed the back door was unlocked. And I said, what? She said, not only was the back door unlocked, it was opened. So it gets worse. She said, I got a drink of milk out of the icebox. She said, I turned around and I went to walk from the kitchen back to her bedroom. She said, I went to check on my son. She said, I left his door open. And she said, when I looked down into his bedroom, standing at the foot of his bed, she said, was a gray. She said it was standing right at the foot of my son's bed. She said, I dropped the glass of milk that I had in my hand. She said it hit the ground, shattered on the floor. She said she was frozen in pure terror. And she said the gray heard her drop her glass of milk. It turned its head, she said, and looked at her, not its body. It just turned its head, and it ran and dove out the window of her son's bedroom. Wow. She ran to the bedroom, she said. She called the police, shut the window, locked the window. The police came and everything. Well, later on, her mom come to live with her because of all this that was going on. Her mom moved in with her, and they continued to have trouble with things while her mom was there. And I'm not going to waste all the stories on that. Maybe I'll tell you all the full story someday of what all happened. This lady, guys, went through hell for sure. And I don't know.
Wow.
T-Bone, welcome to the family, brother. Thank you so much for being here. T-Bone is a new
Yes.
member, guys. But, you know, it's just a really strange thing. I will tell you guys before you join the membership on here, just in case you do not have the money to join both, I am going to be interviewing a gentleman that was an investigator at the Oklahoma City you-know-what building where you know what happened, and he's going to whistleblow a lot of things. I will only be able to release that on Patreon, guys. It will be on the $10 tier of Patreon. So just in case you're interested in hearing what he has to say, that's where that'll be, and we'll be doing that recording very soon. So just wanted to put that out there. So do you think, guys, whenever a lot of these things happen, do you think a lot of people try to blame it on a prowler or blame it on children in the neighborhood or kids in the neighborhood? And do you think that people do that because they don't want to admit that these things exist?
Absolutely. I think they do.
Me too.
Yeah. They're always going to try to put it on something, you know, something else, something that would be more of a normal excuse before it would be anything crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. It's always a prowler, always a neighborhood kid. They're up to no good. You know, it's always put on something else because nobody wants to sound crazy. They can be possibly living in our world. And it is hard to think, you know, that they're out there, but they're out there. And we know they are.
And I believe they get away with a lot more things than what most people think.
Yeah,
Uh,
I do too.
the family described seeing pairs of glowing eyes just beyond the tree line. How many times, guys, do we see the eyes in the tree line? And I would even go as far as to say they're always watching. These things are watching wherever you're at. And how scary to think that something is out there hiding, watching, day or night. I don't think it matters. I believe that if you're out there, they're always watching. The family said the eyes were too high off the ground to belong to any known animal. Sound familiar? Whatever was out there, it wasn't small. And this is the part that really freaks me out a little bit. They said it wasn't afraid to get close. These things sound to me like they were pretty brazen. They were not afraid to get close. And I think that is something that a lot of people do not understand is these things are not afraid to walk up to you. So if you're out in the woods and you think that if you leave these things alone, they're going to leave you alone, no. They will throw rocks at you. They will make noises at you. Pam and Sharon are prime examples. I've been out in the woods in the daytime retrieving the camera that I put out for all of you guys, and I get whistled at in the daytime, guys. They don't care if it's daytime or dark time.
That's right. That is true.
I was out with Rogue. I'll let Rogue tell y'all just a little story. Rogue, remember the morning we went and set the camera and the thing was yelling at me from across the creek and it was daytime and I was like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. That was so wild. I was really shocked that something was doing that in the daytime. I mean, I don't know, you used to expect it more at nighttime, I guess, but I mean, they're there both day and night. I mean, so, and it could have been one of the ones that was, you know, that was watching, one of the watchers or anything. I don't know, but that was definitely wild. Yes, I remember that. Very unexpected. Scared me.
I think it was it you, Pam, or Sharon? One of y'all told me that during the day they have watchers.
Watchers,
Yes.
Sure do.
Might have been
and that would be a signal that somebody's here. I think they do signal they're playing, you know, if they have watchers. I do believe they would use a whistle or tree knock. Those mean something, and I don't know what each thing means, but they were alerting the rest of them that someone was close, I believe, when they whistle. Hmm.
You think that they alert each other probably when we're in the woods and when we're doing something?
Yes, probably every time. Every time.
Absolutely, I do.
And I feel like they know when we're coming, or when we're fixing to be there, our reason for being there. What we're
Well,
thinking. I feel like they know all those things.
me too. I agree with that. Because if they can do what they say they can do, if they can read our minds and people can, the telepathy thing, why not? I mean, they know you're coming and they're connected to you. I mean, you've grown up with them, and I'm sure there's a connection there with some of the clan that's around. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm sure they know you. They know your smell. They know where you live. I mean, you've lived around them all your life. And I do believe
You
that.
know, I think that they have even followed me here a few times. Just to be
I agree with
honest,
that.
I really
Me
do.
too. Me too.
So after a few nights of this, fear turned into action. The family armed themselves with rifles and shotguns, setting up a defensive perimeter around the cabin. They fortified windows, locked the doors, and waited in there. But the creatures outside seemed to know what they were doing. The knocking became more frequent, the rock throwing more intense, and the creatures, yes, creatures, because by now it was clear there was more than one, began to move closer around their home each night. Could you imagine the terror?
No. Oh, I would
The
be
family,
terrified.
oh, imagine. It would be so. I mean, the family described seeing multiple figures, tall and broad shouldered,
Hmm.
darting between trees faster than any man they'd ever seen run. They were faster than human had any right to be. At one point, the creatures made their way onto the roof, their weight causing the structure to groan. Imagine sitting in your living room, clutching a rifle, as something massive stomps around above your head. That's not just fear, guys. That's primal fear. I've been there. Something knocked on our door before. My granny was opening it, shutting the door until my uncle told her to stop because whatever was doing it was on top of the house, leaning over, knocking the door, and was watching her open it and was watching her from above her. These
Wow.
things are smart and they are
Yeah.
evil and they are watching you and they'll get you. I believe that they will get you. Just like like what was it Mater said on Cars? Better watch out. He's going to get you. I mean, they'll get you, right? You
Yeah.
know,
I agree.
uh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just the cabin that came under attack. The family found their fence torn down, tools moved, or thrown into the woods, and deep footprints left in the soft earth around their property. These prints weren't just large, they were enormous, with a stride too wide for any known human or animal. Now, I want y'all to understand that this family here in Honobia, Oklahoma, that was under the siege of these things, this was not just normal city folk living out there. These people were hunters. They had been in the woods. They knew what footprint looked like. They knew what normal ones were, what unnormal ones were, what animals made what noise. They knew what they was dealing with was something that was not supposed to be there. Something that was hunting them from the woods, that was walking upright, faster than any man they'd ever seen run, or they said faster than any man should have ever been. They were
Mhm.
belting their house with rocks the size of grapefruits, shaking their windows, the glowing eyes, the trying to open their windows. This shit happened to us when I was young. I can only
Yeah.
imagine what they felt like. I know that fear, and that's not a normal fear. That's a fear where
No.
you're afraid for your life because man, if that
Mhm.
window fails, or that lock fails, or that doorknob don't work, and that door opens, it used to run through my mind all the time. What in the hell am I going to see? And when I see it, if that door opens, is it going to come inside? That was a fear, man. That was a real fear, because they did come inside. They did come in Granny's house. They did. While they were asleep, they did come in at least one time that they know of while they were asleep.
Wow.
Yeah, they will come into your house.
You're not even in your home, much less outside.
Right. That is insane. I can't imagine how that would feel. Like so invaded.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Never terrifying. I couldn't take that.
Right. And looking at the evidence says, now this is where things get interesting. The Honobia incident didn't fade into the family lore, right? It drew attention. Researchers, Sasquatch enthusiasts, and skeptics alike descended on the property to investigate. What they found in some parts was so compelling that the skeptics became believers overnight. Imagine that.
Wow.
The footprints were meticulously measured and documented. They showed clear signs of toes and a depth that suggested immense weight. Hair samples reportedly found, though testing came back, imagine that, inconclusive, not human, but not easily identifiable as any known animal. Either audio recordings captured guttural growls and howls that didn't match any known wildlife in the area. They recorded the howls, the guttural growls, and everything, and they were sent off and they were tested against known animals that they keep in a data bank. Did not match any of those.
Wow.
Inconclusive hair. And then there were the eyewitness accounts, not just from the family, but from neighbors and hunters in the surrounding areas. They spoke of hearing the same eerie howls, of seeing large, shadowy figures moving through the trees, stalking them as they hunted. One hunter claimed to have watched a creature disappear into the woods, moving faster than anything he had ever seen. Now, skeptics, of course, have their theories. Some argue that footprints were fake, the sounds exaggerated, the family spooked by nothing more than their own imaginations. But when you add up the sheer volume of evidence, dismissing it all as a hoax feels like a stretch. When skeptics arrive and become believers overnight, there has to be something more than a hoax. It has to be some truth to what's happening. And I agree with that 100%. Whenever you bring a skeptic out there and they become a believer just overnight, 8 to 12 hours, they're seeing things that they cannot explain. Because y'all know how a skeptic is. If they hear something, they're going to blame it on everything, right? It'd be like saying, y'all hear that growling? Nah, that's just Kaylee upstairs snoring, right? They're going to blame it on whatever they can. But whenever they know that it's a monster, and you can't think of any other explanation for what's happening, that's whenever you have to face your demons and say, damn, there's something out there that's not supposed to be there. Yes. I mean, could you and Rogue imagine, say you all were skeptics and you went to this house, you saw footprints larger than you'd ever seen, deeper than you'd ever seen, hair samples came back inconclusive, not animal, and then you all start hearing the guttural growls and howls that don't match anything. I mean, how would you feel just staying one night at a house like that?
I'm pretty sure it would be uncomfortable. My mind would probably be changed fairly quickly. I'm sure.
Would you be nervous?
I'd be very nervous.
I'd
be very nervous. Probably where you get nervous gas and all that kind of stuff. It would be awful.
It'd be a panicky type situation for me. I couldn't stand it. Oh God. Oh, I don't think I could go through it. I'd have to leave. I don't think I could. I don't think I could stay there.
Right.
But
Yeah, I mean,
it gives us strength to do a lot of things, and I might can make it through the night, but I don't know that I would want to.
I would definitely try. I would definitely try to stay. Yeah.
Yeah.
there
I
was
would like to have
times
a
that
safe encounter. I would like to have that safe encounter, and but safely. I don't want anything terrifying, or I don't even know if I can walk up on it in the woods. It would be the distance for me. I'd be happy.
Right. That would be nice to have an encounter like that if we knew that we could, you know,
Yeah.
have an encounter that way. I
Absolutely.
guess we don't get to pick them though, so it's sort of a risk,
No.
a chance that you would be
That's
taking.
true.
But yeah,
and, and most encounters are going to happen when you're not looking to have an encounter. You'll be out working in the garden or you're out fishing or whatever, and normally that's when you'll have that encounter, is whenever you're least expecting it, least prepared for it, and almost what's the word? You're almost just a just an opportunity for them, right? It's an opportunity. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
so there was a lot of theories and questions in this one. So what was it? Let's start with the obvious Sasquatch. The creatures described during the Honobia incident fit the classic profile: tall, hairy, human-like, and impossibly fast. But this encounter added another layer. There was intelligence. These weren't mindless beasts. These creatures at Honobia seemed to communicate with each other, coordinating their actions in a way that suggested strategy. They tested boundaries, threw objects to intimidate, and even manipulated tools. This was not a random animal behavior, it was calculated. I've said that for a long time. These things are not animals. They are above that. They have a higher intelligence. They do have strategy, and they will hunt you with the mindset of a human, if not higher intelligence. They have the ability to move faster, smell better, hear better. You're in their environment when you're in the woods. You are in their home. You are at their mercy while you're in the woods. The only reason you leave if they hunt you is because they allowed it. Let that sink in, guys. The only reason you leave is because they allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
Some researchers believe these points to Sasquatch as highly intelligent, possibly even social species. There are theories that they operate in small, tight-knit groups, much like early humans. Their ability to avoid detection despite decades of hunting and research speaks to a level of awareness and cunning that's frankly unsettling, and the camo that they're able to use. But what about the supernatural angle? Do y'all believe there's a supernatural angle? I mean, many indigenous legends describe Sasquatch as more than just a physical being. In some stories, they're protectors of the forest, spiritual entities that exist on the edge of our reality. Could this explain their elusiveness? Their seeming ability to appear and disappear without a trace? It's a theory that is hard to prove, but equally hard to dismiss. What do y'all think about that?
I think there's supernatural factors in surrounding them. I do. I really do. I believe they enter and exit portals, and I believe it's more than what we understand. I really believe that.
yeah, I feel the same way. I think there's natural and supernatural factors to it, though. I think maybe a mix of both.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I think they've got abilities way beyond what we even think.
Right. Kind of what I would say, and it's probably along the same lines that what y'all are saying, maybe a little bit different, is I believe they have what people would call supernatural abilities. But if I were to break it down and label a name to it, I think I would probably say that they have angelic abilities. And whenever I say angelic abilities, because I believe that they are descendants of the Nephilim, probably the Iliad, that they still have that ability to do that the fallen angels did, the ones that did corrupt everything. And we know through the Bible that angels were able to do many things. They took the form of humans. They ate. They done humanly things, but also had that supernatural angelic power. So if these are in fact descendants of them and they come from them, then I would think that they would probably have some attributes that they were still able to do that were passed down through genealogy that they would still be able to possess. Now, whenever people talk about these creatures having higher and lower frequencies that only you know, the human ear cannot hear the noises they make, some are too high. Some of them make noises that's too low. Well, the Bible says Lucifer had instruments placed inside of him and he made beautiful music. What if those instruments are a metaphor to his vocal cords? And that is one of the things that is passed down to these creatures, and that's why they are able to make these mimics of our family members, noises higher and lower than what our ears can hear, and sirens in the ocean making beautiful songs to lure men to their death. It all has to do with the vocal cords, sound, and guys, sound is vibration and frequency.
That's true. That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a possibility that we're dealing with something entirely different. Could these creatures
Yeah.
be a relic of our evolutionary past? A species of hominid that somehow survived in the shadows while we took over the world? Or as some conspiracy theorists suggest, they could be the result of some government experience or experiment gone wrong. A hybrid creature that escaped into the wild. I believe all of those are plausible, and I won't say that any of those are wrong because I don't believe we know definitively what they are, and we all are still trying to learn what they are. The bigger picture. The Siege of Honobia isn't just a story about one family's terrifying experience. It's a reminder of how little we truly understand about the world around us. For all of our satellites and smartphones, there are still vast stretches of wilderness where humans are visitors at best, places where the rules of modern world don't apply. Scott Carpenter found that out.
Right.
What's most unsettling about the Honobia incident is the calculated nature of it all. This wasn't a random encounter. The creatures seemed to know exactly what they were doing, as if they had been watching us far, far longer than we've been watching them. And maybe that's the scariest part. The idea that the legends we've dismissed as myth might not only be real, but far more intelligent than we were even told in the stories at bedtime. They may be worse than we ever imagined. So what do we do with this story? Do we write it off as folklore or a campfire tale? Or do we use it to keep us entertained on dark, scary nights? I believe there's more to these stories than just a scary story told at a campfire. I believe there is truth behind every story. Every nursery rhyme, every story that is passed down, I believe, does have some truth to it. Maybe the answer doesn't matter. Maybe that's what matters is we keep asking the questions and exploring and investigating to try to find the answers as a team. And as I mean team, I mean all of you guys that are here tonight that is part of our channel. We all work together. We all have theories, and I believe that's how we will end up finding the answer to what these creatures are, is through working together with others. Now, the Siege of Honobia isn't just a story. It's a seed of curiosity, of wonder, and, of course, of fear. Just maybe it's a reminder that we're not alone in this world, as we like to think. The Siege of Honobia, Oklahoma, is a very, very known story that scares the hell out of a lot of people. Now, what they didn't cover in this story is they did make a mistake at this house, and for a lot of you in the chat, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? But I wanted to bring this encounter to you from a different perspective, and that's why I brought it to you this way tonight. The homeowners were storing deer in a cellar outside of their home. That's large amounts of food. These creatures were taking the food at first. They locked the creatures out of the cellar, and once the creatures could no longer get to the food, that's when everything increased. That's when they got angry, and that's what led you to what I had just told you. It's a very dark, scary. I can imagine what they went through. I went through things like that at Granny's house, and it is terrifying to hear something outside your home trying to get inside. I'm going to let you and Rogue kind of put some of your comments and thoughts out there. I do have a BFRO, some notes that I have here that I want to read to y'all that really had happened that was taken from the scene. But I'm going to let you guys kind of, what do you all think about these things? I mean, can you imagine something trying to get into your home? I mean, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, and I couldn't imagine. I don't care. I would do. I would have to. I mean, once they started, it's hard to get them to stop. And I guess they thought their food and their deep freeze was free game for them, instead of going hunting the deer themselves. But that would be terrifying to know they were stealing my food and, could just come and go as they pleased on that close to my property while I lay right there asleep. That would be terrifying. And I do believe they do that all the time to people. People just are scared to report it because they don't want to be called crazy.
Right, right. Yeah, I feel the same way pretty much. I'm having some really serious noise background issues. I feel like it's worse tonight than ever whenever I have to turn this mic on. Yeah, if I lived somewhere where they were trying to get in or, assaulting, my home every night, I mean, I'm not sure what I would do. You probably would have to end up leaving depending on how bad it was, but I know that would be awful. I mean, I really don't know.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
I think sometimes, people do move away and they do leave their homes, and people
Yeah.
people do run. I mean, I know some people that's left everything they've owned just to try to escape, what these
Absolutely.
things are, and it's
Yeah.
just it's terrifying. And I know what it's like, and I know that it is very terrifying. It is very, very scary. And guys, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not ignoring anybody in the chat tonight. It is just moving so fast. I cannot keep up because I've got notes over here and I got my chats about that high, and it's just like flying. So I'm not ignoring anybody. Uh, so these incidents took place on a homestead outside of the home or the town of Honobia, Oklahoma, in January of 2000. Guys, that's only 26 years ago. Really, that's not that long ago.
It's not that long.
Some BFRO contacts went to visit the family. They stayed overnight, and they were impressed. Weeks later, television stations, newspapers in Oklahoma mentioned the incident, but never told the whole story. Okay, guys? They never told the whole story. Imagine that. So, mid-January of 2000, the first message received by the BFRO from the uncle of the Honobia family. He writes, "Too many incidents to mention here. Please have someone contact us. This is no hoax, and my brother is afraid for his family. This creature is getting bolder every time it returns. This thing is huge. It walks upright, smells like musky urine, burned hair type odor. He repeatedly comes back in the early morning hours after midnight and harasses them until just before dawn. It has one more than one occasion tried to enter their home. Tried to enter their home, folks. We don't know where to turn. Everyone thinks we are crazy when we mention it. Please, we don't know what to do, but I do know that something needs to be done. There are stories we could tell that would make your hair stand on your neck." So, right there, guys, is a desperate plead for help. That is somebody reaching out, that is terrified, that is dealing with something that they do not understand what is going on. And I'm sure that happens to a lot of people because we don't understand what's going on. Nobody out there understands what's going on. We just know that there's something walked out of those woods that is not supposed to exist. And that's what's hard for people. Now,
Absolutely.
the message went on to explain that the family was having problems over the past 2 years with one or more nuisance animals that were prowling around outside the home at night. The animals were stealing deer meat from an outside shed. Okay. They said, we contacted the family after receiving the report. The man we spoke with first was a brother of the father of the family. He insisted that they were not kidding around. At least one Bigfoot was coming around the homestead almost every night. It was coming onto the porch, messing with the window. God almighty. Wiggling the doorknob. I've witnessed that also. As if it wanted to get into the house. And even stealing deer meat out of the freezer that was kept in an open sided outbuilding. I know that feeling. I have witnessed that. Whatever it was, he says, it wasn't alone. The family could hear chattering and screaming from the hills when the prowlers were near their home. They heard a lot of chattering, talking into the woods. The wife was too fearful to remain in the house. She and the kids were relocated temporarily while the men and themselves armed themselves with assault and pepper shaker, you know what I'm talking about, and prepared to defend the homestead against the nightly prowlers. And I hate having to do it like that, guys, but we have to. On the night before the first message was received, the father fired at one of the animals and thought he may have hit it. The following morning, he found a substantial trail of blood in the yard and thought it was from one of the animals he had hit. One of the BFRO investigators, an airline pilot from Ohio, offered to visit the scene to hopefully collect some of the blood that was left in the wake of the previous night's incident. Is it just me, or does this sound to you guys like these creatures do not like to be told no? It's like you take the meat away from them, they get madder. You lock the doors, they get madder. You chase them out of somewhere, they get madder. It's like they don't like to be told no.
Honey, I don't think they like that at all. They don't like to be challenged in any way by any of us.
I agree. And I don't understand that. I mean, they're great hunters, obviously. They've been around for years, so why do they feel like they gotta come and take our food? That's what I don't understand. Still getting wrong.
Do you think it's like a more of a territorial dominance? They're trying to show dominance by I can take your food, I can, walk on your territory.
Very likely.
Maybe it's like you took my food, I want it back.
Yeah, or the deer, like if it's deer meat or whatever they're stealing from the freezers, like maybe it was theirs anyway. We came into their woods and took it, and they're coming and taking it back.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's a good angle.
Yeah.
But maybe those deer were harvested from their hunting grounds, and they felt that they had claim to those deer.
Yep, I agree.
It's interesting. I never thought of it that way. So they sent out another BFRO investigator to make contact with the residents, but he made contact by phone and began updating other BFR members via email. This is what he wrote. I finally spoke with the shooter last night. When I spoke with him directly, I got the facts straight about the situation at the house and the blood. The shooter is named Tim. His brother, the one who originally contacted us, is named Michael. Tim says it was definitely a Bigfoot that he shot at and thought he might have hit it. It was approximately 70 yards away, and it was nighttime. There is a trail of blood in the woods, but it leads to a fresh deer kill, not away from the area where the Bigfoot was standing when he fired at it. Tim says the Bigfoot ran after he shot at it. But then he and his brother could hear it and others on the hillside for several hours after the shooting. It almost sounds like they wounded this thing and it was laying up there suffering.
Yes.
That suggests to me that he didn't even wound it, or that he did wound it. And all the blood, it could possibly be from the deer. Miles and Roger will be there in a few hours to see this all for themselves and thoroughly look over the area. And then he added, they will be armed. Roger's father is a very skilled 72-year-old bear hunter. He will remain on the property possibly for a few days. Tim says he doesn't care what we do there, but if the animal comes back to the house and scratches at the window again, he will go out and try to get rid of it, dispatch it. He's had to send his kids to stay with relatives, and his wife is clearly terrified. Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
The volunteer Roger Roberts is a well-respected veteran private investigator in Oklahoma. He was in the military intelligence in Vietnam, then a police officer for many years in Oklahoma before becoming a private investigator. He's on a first-name basis with law enforcement officials throughout Oklahoma and is very familiar with every jurisdiction. Both Miles and I were very impressed by him after speaking with him at length on the phone. Roger chuckled when I said, we were wondering why Tim hasn't called the police about this. Roger said, there are hardly any sheriffs in this area because there's a lot of weed growing in southern Oklahoma, and the federal government routinely does unannounced sweeps and arrests crooked deputies. That's allegedly, guys. That's their words, not mine. The backwoods people do not talk to police if they can help it. Roger says this mentality is the norm for southeastern Oklahoma, firmly rooted over generations. Tim wants us to take care of this problem. He doesn't want the Bigfoot coming back to his house anymore, and he doesn't care what it takes to make this stop. He will not move, and he will not hold back from trying to take one of these things down. I told him that we're sending some people who will help him figure out what should be done. I said the bear hunter will shoot it if there's no other way to handle it, but in any case, to let us handle it. There may be no other ways to do it other than let the professionals do it. So everything that's going on here, you've got a professional bear hunter, you've got a private investigator that obviously has a lot of knowledge at what he's doing and investigating and everything. If you'll notice in this story, guys, these people aren't even questioning the existence of these creatures. They're just questioning, how do we get rid of them? So it's already been determined that they exist. They're just trying to figure out, how do we get rid of it? So how scary is that to you guys? There's not even a debate if they exist. Can you imagine what they're seeing at this place?
No, that's terrifying. They're in the middle of a war, basically. Sasquatch.
Yeah. Fighting for your food and fighting for your house.
Yes. And I'm sure if they could have gotten their hands on those humans, imagine what could have happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse, for sure.
So a day later, there was more added to the investigative report. Miles and Roger's father at the location is setting up. I spoke with Tim's wife briefly. She reiterated how frightened they were of this thing and described some of the incidents. Far from the jumping to conclusions, she said that her husband had denied the whole thing to themselves for a few years. It wasn't until after the deer meet, 3 complete quartered deer had all disappeared from a large chest-high freezer in the out shed, that the intruder started trying to get into the house at night. That's when they got scared, when it tried to enter the house. They started moving the meat into the house to try to keep them from getting it. And when they done that, guys, it started trying to come into the house to get the meat. It didn't just scratch the window, she said. It had pulled off parts of the window and was getting bolder in its attempts to get into the house. It was pulling wood off the side of their house by the windows. This thing was fixing to come in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If they had figured that out, how to get that wood out from around that window, it knew there was a way past that point to get into that window. it destroyed that window.
Right.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
David
scary.
Lopez. Welcome to the chat. I haven't seen you before, but welcome.
Yeah,
The
that's
recent deer
terrifying.
kill that was found outside of their window had not been shot. It wasn't shot. One of its legs were violently twisted and broken. It had clearly been carried, not dragged, to a spot to where it's found. Its neck had been clearly broken. The most interesting thing was how the predator pulled out the internal organs. The belly of the deer had not been opened. The opening was up between the neck and the rib cage. The predator made a hole large enough to stick its arm through the front of the rib cage of the deer and to pull its innards out the front. That is crazy.
Wow.
Miles and Roger could not understand what had happened, and they did photograph that incident. There is no doubt, they said, something large had killed this deer with its bare hands and had gutted this animal with its bare hands.
That's unbelievable. So, are there like photos anywhere? Does anybody have pictures of this, like that were taken from this event and or anything? Is there supposed to be anywhere?
I couldn't locate any, but if I did locate those photos, I wouldn't be able to show them here anyways.
Right.
Because
Oh,
of
I'm
the,
sure you couldn't. I'm sure you
yeah.
couldn't. I was just curious as to if they just existed, period. You
I
know?
don't know if they was released to the public or not. I'm not sure. I haven't never seen any. When I looked it up, there wasn't any that I found.
Right. Well, that would be so
Same
cool,
either.
though.
Yeah.
Right. So 12 hours
Yeah.
later, I was on the phone with people at the house last night for a few hours. I was asking questions and listening to what had happened. Things got very hectic at one point. These guys were actually shooting from the porch while I was on the phone. I figured it would be best to let them go at one point, and I said I'd talk to them later. I don't know as yet what was going on, but they told me they would let me know as soon as they were done. As of this morning, they did not have a body, according to Tim and Michael. This morning, Miles and I, Roger, went and looked at a cave that was nearby the home. So they got a cave nearby their house also. Apparently, they all saw a few Bigfoots last night near the property. I don't know how much, if anything, we got on tape. I do know that I did hear screams in the background that I could not identify.
Wow.
It sounded like there were large beasts in the woods screaming at this family. Guys, there is so much more on this that I could read to you guys, and it would take forever. Tim and Michael were so afraid, so scared. The BFRO actually named this incident, called this incident very substantiated that it had happened, because they did have individuals at the home when this did happen. So this was not like a very small thing. Now, I do have...
yeah. And neighbors also got to telling them of their encounters. So there was other people that also corroborated that.
Oh, yeah. And Matt Moneymaker ended up showing up. He was there in person. Yeah. And he did a lot of emails and stuff. And when I get all this stuff uploaded to Patreon, guys, I'm just going to let y'all have it over there on Patreon. Y'all can go through it and read the emails. I have all the emails. Probably a lot of information y'all have not heard about in this case. So I will put those emails out for you guys to be able to go. And I'm not going to read all the emails to you. We'd be here all night because I do have a lot of emails. But I think y'all get the gist of it. This was a pretty frightening night for this family. They were under siege, and I may dig through these emails, and we just may do a part 3. I don't know yet, but there's probably enough to do a part 3. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw it over to you and Rogue, and just kind of, before we wrap this up tonight, what do y'all think? What do you think about moving to a house in the country? You put your deer outside, something steals 3 whole deers, you lock the deer away from it, they pelt your house with rocks, they try to open your windows, they're tearing boards off the side of your house, they're growling, they're making calls, you're hearing chattering, your husband has now shot what he believes is one, allegedly. it's getting crazy as hell around there. What do you all think? Would you go back to the home, or would you vacate the home? What would you do, and what do you think?
Well, depending on what options you have. I mean, if you've got an option, or if I had an option, I would want to vacate, as soon as possible. But if not, I mean, I don't know. I guess just pray for the best and keep fighting the best you can. I mean, because not everybody would have an option to leave right away, or just keep plugging away at it. I guess I don't know. That's pretty unimaginable. I don't know, especially if things tearing your house apart and trying to take your food and trying to get in and open the door and walk into your home. And that's scary as hell. I mean, I don't know.
I would have to fight for my home. I'd have to fight for my home, I'm sure. I mean, but I would probably leave for a while till things died down or something could be done. But I would live there. I would go back because you got to fight for what's yours, and I would go back and live there, I'm sure. But it would be terrifying. I would be more scared than I've ever been in my life. But I would have to do it.
Yeah, I agree with fighting for what's yours, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I also think that you would have to take into consideration also as to, if you have children and the ages of the children and stuff like that too, because I agree with you guys. I would fight for what's mine, and we did fight at my granny's house because we didn't have the money to just pack up and move. We didn't have the money to do that, so we had to come up with different solutions. And part of those different solutions were we had routines, and the routines were you didn't leave the yard. At sundown, you went in the house. We put up blankets over the windows so they couldn't see in. Made sure the doors were locked. You had a lockdown time. And we were quiet inside of the house. We knew we had to be quiet. You couldn't be loud. You couldn't be running around playing. You couldn't have the TV up all night. You had to listen. You had to be alert. So a lot of our nights were sitting in the front room with my granny talking, or it was playing cards or Monopoly, things that were quiet, not the videos that kids have nowadays where they're just blasting their games and playing. You couldn't have done that down there. We actually played games, that were board games, and we were quiet. And you knew you had to be, though. It wasn't, it was just like going to the bathroom could be straight terror. I mean, there was times that I would go to the bathroom. My cousins would go to the bathroom. The bathroom was, of course, at the back, darkest end of the house. And when you would go back there, it would try to open the back door, rattle the doorknob, whatever it would do, scare you completely to death. I mean, there was times that you would just hold it as long as you could because you didn't want to go back there. And that was life. Granny had, 6 girls, 2 boys. They all later got married, and they would come down for the holidays, and they would stay all night and stay. These things did not stop bothering them whenever they became adults. These things did not care that they had become adults. They would do it anyways. And even, their spouses that they would marry that would stay at my granny's house after they would get married that had never been there, that had never heard anything about this, it would blow their mind. They could not understand what the hell was going on. I mean, they were carrying 44 Magnums and 12 gauges, and they were buying guns. Guys that had never bought guns before that were from the city that did not hunt, they would buy guns just to stay there.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is crazy what went on down there. It is very crazy. It was, Tina. It was very crazy. And terrifying at times. I mean, that primal fear, like they talk about, it is a primal fear. When you're hunted by something that you don't know what it is, that's not supposed to exist, that is a primal fear. Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Guys, that's pretty much all I got left tonight, Rogue. If you would like to say something before we leave, we'll start heading out. But this is a crazy one.
Yeah, it's insane. Maybe we'll do another one, a third one, to dig into some more, since that was a lot of information. There's no way I could have ingested all that today. No way. So yeah, let's do a third one possibly at some point. And thanks everybody for coming and for listening and joining and chatting, commenting, and everything. And we love you guys very much.
Yep, I agree with you too. That there was a lot of information there, and I do believe there's enough for a third one as well. And maybe we can dig some more up between now and then, because this is a very interesting story, and it's terrifying to know what that poor family went through for so many years before it all, maybe calmed down. I could only imagine how they felt, and those poor children. But right. I thank everybody for coming and supporting us tonight, and I sure do appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. God bless y'all.
I agree with Pam and Rogue that we do have a lot more information, and maybe we can come back and just do a show and go through the emails, what was written by Matt Moneymaker and what the family was saying, because that is a lot of the information that was not released to the public. And we can go through that and break it down. And we may do that. We might do that tomorrow night, guys. Since y'all showed up tonight in such a good force, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take y'all boots on the ground tomorrow night. What do y'all think about that? Let's have a boots on the ground tomorrow night. So everybody in the chat right now, we're going to have a boots on the ground tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. I'm writing it down right now. I will make the thumbnail in a little bit, and hopefully I will see y'all on a boots on the ground tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I appreciate y'all being here. The support is amazing, and as long as y'all keep supporting, guys, I'll keep pushing. Y'all keep supporting us, and I'll keep delivering. I want to deliver a lot of stuff to Patreon. We're going to be talking about the Oklahoma building and what happened to that building with an investigator that was there. That will be released on Patreon only on the $10 tier, and you're not going to believe what he's going to tell you. But until then, guys, I will see you tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. on Boots on the Ground, what we do the best. Remember, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. That's not something that you want to do. Keep your doors locked. Keep your windows locked. And remember, we love you, and we're appreciative of your support. We feel it right here each and every time. For each and every one of you that's here, please smash that like button. It helps so much. And until next time, good night. God bless. And oit.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all.
In the heart of the night, where the shadows play, Stephen Michael Bickey lighting up the way. Abnormal investigations, whispers in the trees. With boots on the ground, I'm chasing mysteries. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I walk where others dream. I'm on the ancient woods, where legends come alive. I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. Footsteps on the trail, echoes in the night, searching for the secrets hidden from the light. Cryptids roam the wild under the moon's embrace. With every rustle in the leaves, I feel their haunting grace. Shining lights into the dark, unveiling what's unseen. Through the haunting silence, I walk where others dream. Among the ancient woods, where legends come alive, I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. Each night a new adventure in the depths of the unknown. With passion in my heart, I'll walk this path alone. But with every discovery, I know I'm not afraid. For in the woods of wonder, true wonders are unseen. Through the haunting silence, I'll walk where others train. Among the ancient woods, where legends come alive, I'll uncover the truth, feel the shadows thrive. So here's to the night where the strange comes to be, with boots firmly planted on where I'm meant to be.